Okay, so 19 and 20, pretty straightforward. 19 is just asking you for are they real, what is the rule? So I is the square root of -1, I squared is just -1, I cubed -I, and I to the fourth is 1. Okay, something we've talked about before. Talked about this in both classes. You are just literally multiplying each of these across, just like you would the boxes. They're talking about which ones are real. This one would be real, this one would be real, and this one would be real. Okay? I am going to fill at the bottom. So let's go down to our last ones here. Okay? 21. We have to choose a method in each of these, and I believe in both classes we went through each of these methods. Okay? So the first method you want to find first is the quadratic formula. Or the, not sorry, I'm sorry, that's the last one. First one we want to find is taking the square root. And here C is going to be the square root problem. Okay? Just because it's the only possible one. Also making pretty easy is completing the square has to be up here because it's the only one that has an A value of 1. And then finally, determining if A or D is going to be, which one's going to be factoring or quadratic formula, you got to check the first one. I would just start by creating my x and go 7 times 4, 28, adds up to -16. Are there two numbers that fit that build? You would find them to be -14 and -2. So here we're going to factor. And so since we're going to factor here, that means our last one is going to be the quadratic formula. Okay, so we're going to go through all of these now. Now that we have our form, we're going to go through. So because I'm going to factor here, A is not 1. So because A is not 1, I have to actually plug these numbers in to the formula. You know, take my -16, rewrite it twice. We have to group the first two and the last two. Greatest common factor out, 7x, x minus 2. Greatest common factor, a -2 because this is negative, x minus 2. My parentheses should be the same. Terms that are left on the outside. So now I have my two parentheses, separate them, set them both equal to 0, and then we are going to solve. X equals 2. You know, get a fraction, you get a fraction, that's fine. X is equal to 2/7. Okay. In B, we said we were going to complete the square, so in order to complete the square, I had to add 12 over to each side. So that leaves me with the blanks. Fill in the blanks, take half of the 16, square that number. That's the number I'm adding to both sides, adding 64. Okay, here is where we get our terms. Negative x minus 8 all squared equals 12 plus 64, 76. From here, we're going to take the square root. X minus 8 is equal to the square root, plus minus square root 76. Add your 8. So x is equal to 8 plus minus square root 76. Close to being done. The only thing you need to make sure of is, hey, can we simplify 76? Alright, so we're going to do 76. It's even, so I know it's divisible by 2. That gives me 38 and 2. I divide that by 2 again. Now I have 19 times 2 times 2. Here's my pair. Okay, 19 is left in the radical, so it's 8 plus minus 2 radical 19. That is our final answer here. C, they ask you to take the square root. So I have to get x squared by itself, so I'm going to add the 72 to both sides. 2x squared equals 72. Divide by 2. X squared is equal to 36. Here's where we actually get to take the square root now. And remember, anytime you take the square root, plus or minus. Now this happens, square root of 36 happens just to be 6. So we're done right here. And finally, letter D, we are going to do quadratic formula. So negative 18 plus minus square root negative 18 squared minus 4 times A, which is 9, times C, which is 5, all divided by 2 times 9. Simplify, get 18 plus or minus 18 squared minus 4 times 9 times 5 works out to be 144 all over 18. Now 144 should ring a bell because that's going to be a perfect square. And because it's a perfect square, it's just the radical drops away. Goes away and you're just left with 18 plus or minus 12 all over 18. Now, when your radical completely goes away, you have to create two different fractions, 18 plus 12 over 18 and 18 minus 12 over 18, and simplify both of these. 18 plus 12 first, that gives you 30 over 18. 30 over 18 can reduce down to 5 over 3. So this is one answer. Then you got to do 18 minus 12 here. You get 6 over 18. This reduces to 1/3 here. These would be your two answers. Okay? So good luck on your test.